It is the Flow Friday Night Sports Show, and let's take a look at Western Eyre netball. It is finally back, and the reigning premiership coach from the A grade is on the line with us right now. Reanna Freeman, welcome back. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Going well. Your premiership defence starts on Saturday. Anzac round, right?
Absolutely is. It's a special weekend for all Australians, I reckon, and one that everyone normally gets right around and pays respect to all the Anzacs.
Yes, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about that in a moment. But first of all, point to make about the fixtures at Penong. So there's games at Nippy, Penong and Wirralur this week to start up the season. But at Penong, there won't be an A-grade. Kaniba haven't been able to rustle up an A-grade side this year, or a D-grade side, I believe, in Western Eyre netball. So there won't be any A or D-grade fixtures. I believe that's right.
That's correct. And the A and C grade play at the same time, and the B and D grade play at the same time slot. So be reassured, if you head to Penong to watch netball, there will still be a netball game, and a quality one, I'm sure, at every time slot. So unfortunate Kaniba couldn't get that A and D grade, but with the circumstances around COVID and everything else, I think they've still done a fabulous job to pull the club together and get what they have.
Absolutely, and they'll be back, no doubt about that whatsoever. So we'll have two fixtures each week to go through for the A grade. Now, as far as Anzac Day goes, Western Eyre, relatively new competition. Yourselves and Wirralur joining from the old Midwest. What traditions did you guys used to have for Anzac Day, and have you been able to bring any of them with you into the new Western Eyre competition?
Yeah, I think they were fairly similar across the whole of the EP. Midwest and what was Far West were very similar. So Midwest, we always did your minute silence, your black armbands, and played the last post. And every home match had a Anzac medal, so for the A-grade netball and A-grade football. And that's continued with Western Eyre. So Every club might look slightly different as to when they do it and whether it's on the courts or the oval or how exactly it might happen. But be assured that every club will have a minute silence and a best player who shows the Anzac spirit in both the A footy and netball.
Yep. Okay. So Nippy, West Coast Hawks hosting Ceduna Blues.
Yep.
That will be your fixture. So before the game starts, do you head to the oval, observe the last post together with the footballers, or do you do it separately? How are you working it?
Well, it works quite well this year because for the first half of the season, the A-grade actually plays at 2:30, A-grade netball.
Yep.
And the footy, of course, is at 2:20. So for the first time in a long time, it's sort of lined up quite well that we can all meet on the oval. So
Right.
We're lucky at Nippy because we'd be at either side. They're pretty much netball courts right on top of the football oval. So everyone that's near and far will be able to gather together and join for the minute silence.
You'll be able to walk over there, walk back, and then have to warm up.
Yeah. Can't run in between. There's not enough space to get warm.
Fair enough. So, it should be an interesting clash too. Ceduna Blues, the Hawks, a bit of a rivalry starting between these two clubs already in their infancy.
Yeah, look, I think that I've been looking at these teams quite a bit, looking at what we might come up against this year, and I'm actually probably thinking Blues would probably start quite favourite. Their team looks incredible, and they were well around the mark last year in the top four, and only just missed out on making it any further. And they are coached this year by Holly Woods, so her mother coached last year, Teresa Woods, and she's an absolute god of netball. She's extremely intelligent and a wealth of knowledge, and I assume that Holly would be much the same, although she's very young. So I think they'll have a fantastic coach in Holly, and she's obviously back also as a player this year and played in their 2019 premiership team as a goalie. So I think Blues are going to come out firing, although they do have 4 players out this week due to being school holidays and good old COVID knocking a few around.
Oh, no. How have you guys gone in as far as that goes? Has it knocked you around down there in Streaky Bay?
Throughout the whole club, we haven't fared too bad. In the A-grade, we haven't got Tegan Joyce, who was in our team last year, but our whole A-grade side is pretty much a new lineup this year. We've had quite a few pregnancies and people away and moved on and that sort of thing. So we'll have young Chloe Evans, who we mentioned many a times last year, and Michelle Wheaton line up in the goals. We have got 2 sisters in the team. So Nardi Beard is new to the club this year, She was in Lincoln, and she'll line up in wing defence with her sister Alana Beard in goal defence. So things looking a little bit different this year. Summer Braz with her debut game in A grade. She's only young, only 15, 16. Really excited to see her on the court, and I think it's going to be a fabulous game against Blues. They've got a few key players out. Taylor Collins plays up both ends for Blues and a brilliant player and an association player last year. She's out for this week, as well as Hayley Clayton, who's normally their goalkeeper. So I think this first round might be a little bit of just see what we're coming up against, because I don't think anyone's really going to have full teams for quite some time. But I think there'll still be some quality netball here.
This is what they do in Streaky Bay. You win a flag and then you just put all the girls out to stud. Is that right?
We've got to keep it going for years to come.
Fair enough. Look after the future there at the Hawks. I like it.
Absolutely. They're not COVID babies. They're premiership babies.
That's it. That's the way to look at it. Perfect. And the other Anzac Day fixture that we haven't spoken about yet will be at Wirralur. So the Bombers there hosting Thevenard, and Thevenard will be, well, they would have had the loss from the finals burning in their bellies over the summer, I'm sure.
Absolutely. So I think their lineups, they've got quite a few ins and outs this week as well. I know that Lindsay Holness has opted to play B grade this year to make way for some of the younger girls and develop the up-and-coming players, but she's been roped back into the A grade this week because of players being away. I'm assuming, and hasn't been confirmed, Cassie Neer is coaching, and I'm assuming she is back in the A grade again this year. And if she is, she'll be a huge in for them in their goal.
Oh, yeah.
Wirralur have Emma Willis out as she's pregnant with her third child, but she's due very early in the season, and knowing Emma, I would assume maybe last half of the season or even the last round that she'll put a uniform back on. So she's a massive out for Wirralur, but I don't think she'll be out for the season. And I have got a little note here for the ins, and I probably should have given you a pre-warning so you could cue some music, but in for Wirralur this year, Cindy Best is back in A grade.
Right.
So apologies, I really should have done better. So you could have had music cued and you could have been ready to go. But she's a fabulous player. Both ends, just incredible voice on the player. Natasha Gill also in, and Alicia Perry, who I believe is from Junior, and I don't know much about Alicia, but I think she's supposed to be a very good player, has played academy. So I think this will be I think these first two games for the season are going to be absolute cracking games, and would be very hard to tip a win either way in either game, I would think. Well,
the best thing we can do is wait to see the results roll through, but I will have some music queued up for that new recruit there at Wirralur, the young Cindy Best. I'm sure she'll might forge a bit of a career for herself, I reckon.
Absolutely. She's absolute talent on and off the court. The Wirralur's very lucky to have her.
Yeah, they are. And the Hawks are lucky to have you too, mate. Good luck for the weekend. I'm sure you'll go well. Anything else before we wrap it?
No, just best of luck to everyone. I think the association's come off to a fantastic start. Everyone's been very open and willing to adapt to the new COVID times. So I think that's just a fantastic start to the season. And I think this season will just build and build as it goes on, as teams settled and hopefully COVID find somewhere else to go.
Yeah, go and stay away, COVID. We've had enough.
Yeah.
Good on you, mate. All the best for the weekend. We'll catch up with you next week.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me.